What is going on, guys? It's Budget Planeswalker here, and we're going to start things off with a deck tech here on the channel. It's going to be based around Muldrotha the Gravetide. During each of your turns, you may play up to one permanent card of each permanent type from your graveyard. Now obviously, that means lands, enchantments, artifacts, planeswalkers, creatures. You know, if it's a permanent on the field, we got it covered. So we're going to start off with the 1-drops and what the base is, and then go from there. You got Llanowar Elves, major aspect of this deck. I can't stress that enough. The mana ramp is needed. We're going to need it for Muldrotha. We're going to need it to play Vraska. It's important. Blood Tallow Candle. Nobody expects it. They think it's just a trash artifact that sits there, but it's a 1-drop that can kill Lyra. It's a 1-drop that can kill Scarab God. It can kill pretty much anything with Indestructible later on. It's a beautiful card and highly recommended that it gets used. Then we step over here and we got Direfleet Poisoner. I mean, Death Touch, that pretty much says it all. I don't understand where we're going to have to go with that. Merfolk Branchwalker helps cycle. Play it, filter out any kind of enchantment for late game. Say you've got a Muldrotha in hand, go on ahead and toss that Liliana. Go on ahead and toss that Vraska. It doesn't matter. You're going to be able to get it back. The point to our deck is our graveyard is our hand. Okay? Very important. Argol's Bloodfast. This card has saved me on a couple occasions. It helps you out with draws. Later on, go on ahead and flip it. You can start sacking your Muldrotha if you already have Eldest Reborn out. If you take one of their creatures with Hostage Taker, you can sack it. So we'll get a little bit more into that later on. But beautiful card, gain you some life. Basically, this card hates on mono red, which is gorgeous. Cast down. We're going to kill all your stuff pretty early game. We can bring it back. We'll get into that later on. Dead Man's Chest. I've not really seen too many people use this card, and I don't know why. The card itself is really darn good. Basically, when it dies, it gets to exile the cards off the top of your deck. Then, for as long as they stay exiled, I can cast them and spend any kind of mana towards it. So, if you're running white-blue control, which a lot of people are, that's now my Teferi. That's now my Lyra. Karn, he's over here now. Why? Because I was able to kill something of yours. It's really simple. You pop this on a Lyra, and then you kill it with the Chupacabra later on. Easy peasy. Song of Freyalise. This is something that might come out. Personally, it's won me a couple games. It also really helps with mana ramp. You don't really have that many creatures to really do the 1 and 2, but the +1/+1 counter and giving them trample and indestructible, that's one thing that Muldrotha doesn't have is trample. She also doesn't have any kind of vigilance or any kind of maneuverability. She's just a huge body that allows you to play stuff back. This gives her those added benefits, and it's something that you can continuously play because it's only 2 mana, so it's in the deck. Ranging Raptors. Mana. You going to go after him? Sweet. Go on ahead and kill him. You have to waste a kill spell on him, or you're going to give me value. That's what he's there for. And he can be brought back. So unless you double Magma Spray him, he'll be seeing you again soon. Thrashing Brontodon. Here we got the 3/4 body that absolutely just screws over white-blue. I'm just going to blow him up and kill your cast out, kill your Ixalan's Binding. They rely on that fairly heavily. This says no. Grow from the Ashes. I don't understand why more people aren't running this card. I know that there are other cards out there. What's that one that's being run in like that Hour of Promise deck? It's like that 3-drop and you put it into play tapped. This one doesn't come into play tapped. So on turn 3, if you have your lands out there and you had this in your hand, and you literally drew this, you can play this, get a forest, and then just pop down a Llanowar Elves. You still got value from this card. It doesn't come into play tapped. I don't see why people aren't using it. Chupacabra. 2/2 body. 4 mana, but it blows something up that is amazing. It is just... I can't go into details on how many times drawing this card has actually won me the game. Hostage Taker is a new addition to the deck. I used to have God Pharaoh's Gift in here, but a 7 mana thing late game versus a 4 mana game that I can reuse and be able to steal your stuff with, I'm probably going to go with stealing your stuff. You have to exile it, or else it'll continuously come back. Like I said, that's what this deck is about. So, we're going to play this, take either your artifact or your creature, and then we're just going to cast it. We've got the mana to do so. Alright? Late game, we're going to keep doing it over and over and over again. It's just how it is. Getting into the juicy stuff in this deck, we have the Eldest Reborn. Nobody is giving this card the credit that it deserves, if I'm being honest. You have a card that literally makes your opponent sack a creature. They have to discard a card as well, so there goes their whatever they were holding on to, fumigate, whatnot. And then, on top of everything else, you get to put either a planeswalker or a creature from any graveyard, not just yours, any graveyard, back into play. So, you know how over here we were talking about pitching some stuff just to go ahead and get it back? We get it back. Alright. Great card. Yes, it's counterable, but it's also replayable. Liliana. This card right here basically just says, if you countered this card, it's coming back. It also helps filter our grave, so we can go on ahead and toss a couple things in, hopefully get like a hostage taker in there or something like that. We make a 2/2 zombie, and again, we play almost everything in this deck except for a few cards from our graveyard. So I don't see where this would be a bad card in this deck at all. A little pricey on paper, so you probably can just go with another Eldest Reborn if I'm being honest with you. But I like it. It was one of those cards where on Arena it doesn't really cost anything, so we're like, screw it, let's put it in. I did go on ahead and totally price this entire deck before we get down to the last couple cards. I priced it on tcgplayer about $90. So a little pricey. It's not what many would consider to be budget, but for me it's still a budget deck because I know people that spend a couple hundred, $300-400 on some of these decks, mainly because you know, certain cards, they see price spikes and everything because, oh my gosh, they're getting played everywhere. And I just think that's ridiculous. We've already talked about Muldrotha. She is an absolute beast, and we're going to keep her in here. Some people call her Muldrotha. I really feel like it's a softo, so we're keeping it. Vraska, she is cheap right now. People, on paper, she is just absolutely cheap. Nobody wants to play her. You know, there's other planeswalkers. They're shiny. They're new. This card literally says, screw your planeswalkers. This says, screw your enchantments, screw your creatures, anything. Alright? Play this card. Go on ahead and, you know, sack their creature, whatever. Blow it up. You get you some mana back for it. So it's beautiful. And honestly, I've never used her ultimate. The way she works in this deck, believe it or not, is she has 2 free kill spells with mana. So I will cast her, neg 3, blow something up. Next turn, neg 3, blow something up. She'll go in the grave. Muldrotha allows me to bring it back. And then we go from there, over and over and over again. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've done that until I get enough mana to play Eldest Reborn and force them to sack their planeswalker or whatever. It's hilarious. Then we're getting into the mana base. It isn't the best mana base, but it's a pretty good one. We have 1 island, 2 Memorial of Genius. We can sack it, draw cards late game, and remember, we can get it back. That is very, very, very important. If near Deadlands, kill your stuff, we can get it back. Fetid Pools, we can pitch it early on to try to get something to play. We can get it back. And Field of Ruin. This card has been hilarious. Being able to constantly, for 2 mana, blow up their stuff, get it right back, blow up their stuff. I've had a lot of fun with this land. It works really well against energy decks too. Because, I mean, if you don't have Aether Hub, what do you have? I will tell you, it is not an Aether Hub. Anyway, this deck does not have a sideboard yet, mainly because on MTG Arena, sideboards don't ever get used, which does kind of suck, so you have to kind of just go off your base deck versus what they have. I'm hoping that gets implemented before too long, but without further ado, we are actually going to go on ahead and give it a test. Up here to home, we're just going to go right into it. I just realized that my sound and everything is coming through the TV speakers. There we go. I take it he's going first if it's taking this long. I can live with that. So this hand isn't too bad. I would have loved for that to be a Vraska instead of a Lily, but we'll go with what we got. Oh yeah, I didn't see that we actually drew a Vraska. Sweet. Any day he will play a creature. That gives him vigilance. No, it gives him first strike. That's what that does. Well, I don't want to be that guy, but at the same time, we really can't allow that card to kind of just sit there and do whatever it wants, so we're going to take it. Five, there would be 6. Yeah, that's probably what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and just, we're going to run out Lily. Let's get our planeswalkers doing what the planeswalkers do. What do we get in the grave there? Couple free lands. I'll take it. None of those have lifelink, but I just don't want to attack. Next turn we'll play Vraska. Then probably play Eldest Reborn after that. Ooh, he's hurting for mana. I wasn't even paying any attention. I mean, I'm fine with that. Ooh, I almost cast the wrong card. Alright, there we go. We're gonna filter. What do we get in there? More lands and Merfolk Branchwalker, I'll take it. We're gonna kill that guy. Now I feel no shame in attacking. Alright, so he scoops it up. I guess we'll go ahead and play one more. He got kind of mana screwed there. Oh wait, this is the wrong version. This is the one that has Siren Storm Tamer and everything. Oops. I shouldn't, but I know that I'm going to. we'll go on ahead and hopefully toss down a branch walker. It works. Oh, I didn't want that to be mana, to be honest. He does have 3 mana now. There's a good chance that he's going to counter whatever I play. Probably just going to set up for the next turn. I'm okay with that. I felt like that was a waste of a seal away. Let's try to run out the ranging raptors. Okay. We will just make him sacrifice this guy. That's where the Eldest Reborn comes in handy. ShamWow. Shapow. Really? Alright. Now I'm going to have to play Vraska to blow up that Ixalan's binding to get my guy back. This is ridiculous. I'm baiting out though. I thought I had enough. I did not. Should probably counter this if you have a card in your hand. Which, I mean, to be fair, you probably do. You did not? Well, that's a thing. I think we still got this. So he can take Muldrotha now. I'm actually okay with that, because now yeah, it don't matter. Bam. We're coming back. He scooped it up right there. For real? For real, you took 2 points of damage and you just scooped it up like that? Man, that's a shame. Y'all didn't get to see what the deck really does. That is a shame. But essentially, we were getting ready to just start playing anything and everything from our deck. I'm sorry about that. I was really hoping it would be much better, but I do appreciate you for watching the video. If you like the idea, or if you have any other ideas that you would like me to test out that are just weird, janky, don't make much sense, obviously go ahead and send me a message or put them in the comments below and I will get right to it. Thank you for your time. Have a good one.